With Talanoa Hufanga signing with the Denver Broncos, San Francisco needed a solution at their safety position, and to re-solidify it, they signed Richie Grant from the Atlanta Falcons. The former second-round pick in San Francisco agreed to a one-year deal, and he has the measurables Robert Saleh is looking for in a safety. He's faster than Talanoa Hufanga, running his 40-yard dash in 4.53 seconds, and he comes in at 6 foot, weighing right around 200 pounds. And if he works out for San Francisco, he is right in the prime of his career, coming in at 27 years of age. So in this video, I wanted to dive a little bit deeper into the player that is Richie Grant to see how he's going to fit onto San Francisco's defense going forward. For the Falcons, he started in 33 games, had 275 tackles, 3 interceptions, and 17 passes defended. And while he didn't start every single game on the defensive side of the ball last year, he did in 2022 and 2023. He's also a contributor on special teams, and the safeties that started over him in Justin Simmons and Jesse Bates are both Pro Bowl safeties, so he's not a bad player by any means. And when you look at him, he's similar to San Francisco's old safety in Jimmy Ward that played under Robert Saleh. He's a versatile safety. He can play both deep down the field or manned up on one of your best tight ends. The reason this versatility is so important for Saleh's defense is because on early downs, the first and second down, often he's running cover 4 or cover 6. Then on later downs, he brings a blitz, and that often leaves his safety manned up on the tight end or even sometimes a slot wide receiver. Another thing that I think Grant will offer San Francisco is ball hawking ability. Across his course of career at UCF, he had 10 interceptions, and during his time with the Falcons, he had 3. He's always looking to make a big play on the defensive side of the ball. In coverage, he also does a great job of reading a quarterback's eyes, which allows him to get a jump on the ball. And against the run, he's not afraid to go up against a bigger running back and put his body on the line. But to really see the player he is, we need to dive into the intricacies of his game looking at his film. Initially, we're going to be examining him in the running game. On this play specifically, he's in a traditional safety alignment against the Eagles. Here, I want to focus on how quickly he identifies this and then attacks the lane. He takes his read step, quickly identifies the ball carrier coming at him, he shoots the running back's lane, takes on this tight end, and makes a tackle on this play. This is exactly why I love seeing out of a safety. Their job's to be the eraser on the defense and make sure tackles deep down the field. And on this play, Grant does just that with an excellent open field tackle. Something else that I love about Grant in the running game is how he can play a box safety role in a similar way Mustafa and Hufanga did last year, which may even be more vital with a player like Dre Greenlaw leaving to the Broncos in free agency. Speaking of the Broncos, on this play, you can see how Richie Grant is in a box safety role. And he's playing this just like a linebacker. First, he takes his read step, sees the gap forming in the offensive line, so he shoots it. But once he sees the running back running a different direction, he takes a slide step and then meets the back in the hole, making the tackle on this play. This is the type of play that I think could really transform San Francisco's run defense. Another aspect of his running game I think far too little people talk about is his ability to shed blocks. When he's taken on tight ends or even sometimes offensive linemen, he does a good job of engaging with them, breaking off their block, and then making tackles routinely. As impressive as Richie Grant is against the run, I would argue he's actually better against the pass. One of the strengths in this aspect of his game is how quickly he can identify a play and then shoots on it hard. Here against the Broncos, for instance, he's playing off coverage and zone coverage at that, but he quickly identifies a screen and blows it up for a 2-yard loss. Now lined up in a box safety role, he is reading this quarterback's eyes this entire time. He understands the running back in the flat, and as soon as he comes back to him, goes up and makes another tackle for a loss. I'm also impressed by how he handles scramble drills. He does a great job of identifying where the quarterback is going and where wide receivers are across the field. Here, for instance, he understands this wide receiver's behind him and then goes up, high points his ball, and breaks it up in the end zone. One of the best aspects of his game, though, as I was alluding to earlier, is his ability to go mano a mano with a lot of your best weapons. Here, for instance, trailing this tight end in zone coverage, he's able to read this quarterback's eyes, then actually jumps this route, nearly getting the interception on this play. This type of ball hawking mentality is something San Francisco needs out of their secondary. I also love how he handles scramble drills, especially when he's essentially manned up on someone. Here, for instance, manned up on this tight end, he's able to shut down his initial route, and then once he breaks out, he does a great job of responding and then attacking this ball in the air while not drawing the PI. Obviously, my favorite factor about Grant's game though is his ability to intercept passes, and like I was mentioning, this largely has to do with his ability to read a quarterback's eyes. You can see on this play, for instance, he's reading Baker Mayfield's eyes the entire way on this out pattern, jumps this wide receiver's route, and gets the interception. In a similar way here against the Seahawks in the fourth quarter, Grant is reading Geno Smith's eyes, sees him targeting this wide receiver, jumps it, and gets another interception, which also won the Falcons the game in this situation, showing his clutch nature, unlike Tart did a couple of years ago, dropping that gimme interception. And on tip drills, more often than not, he's going to come down with it. He's always aware where the football is, like here on this Chargers pass where he's able to snag this. But it's not just in his pass coverage where he makes his presence felt in the passing game, but he can also come on blitzes and even sack your quarterback, causing fumbles. Here, coming off the edge against the Jets, for instance, he's able to beat this offensive tackle using a spin move, using his shoulder to get around him, and then quickly darts back inwards across the body of this running back, getting the sack fumble on this Jets quarterback. This is impressive for a defensive lineman, let alone a safety coming on the blitz. And for Robert Saleh, there's a plethora of ways you can use him in the blitzing game. Here, for instance, he's lined up in the A gap, but stunts across his offensive line and gets to the quarterback, making him lose massive yards on this play. He also has pretty solid pass rush moves, with probably my favorite being his swim move. Here going against 86, for instance, you can see how quickly he hits it and then gets the quarterback almost instantly getting the sack on him. Outside of what he offers on the defensive side of the ball, he should also help San Francisco reinforce their special teams unit, and this may also be a Brant Boyer signing, because here you can see on this reverse how he's able to identify it and then make the tackle. To completely understand the player Richie Grant is though, we need to go deeper than his NFL film and examine his career up to this point briefly. We were first introduced to Richie Grant at Chattahoochee High School in Fort Walton Beach, Florida. There, he was ranked a 2-star recruit, playing both wide receiver and defensive back. He also ran track during his time there, and according to 24/7 Sports, he was a 2-star recruit and received an offer from UCF in which he accepted. As a freshman, he redshirted, but headed into his sophomore campaign, he was listed as a starter. Across his career at UCF, he played in 48 games, had 291 tackles, 1 sack, and 10 interceptions. To go along with that, he also had 18 passes defense. And as a senior, he was listed as a finalist for the Jim Thrope Award, which is given to the nation's top defensive back. And headed into the 2021 NFL Draft, he was considered one of the better safeties and was selected in the 2nd round by the Atlanta Falcons. And well, the rest is history. So now that you know my thoughts and some background on Richie Grant, I want to hear your thoughts down below. Do you think this is a good signing for San Francisco, and do you think he can actually replace Talanoa Hufanga going forward? It would also mean a ton to me if you could like and subscribe, and as always, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.